Hello everybody, Yakrai here, and yeah, welcome to a new series, which will be talking about all about Dark Souls 3. And in this part, or at least for this part of the series, we are going to be talking about bosses and the
Yes,
tactics.
indeed.
I will show you 3 different characters and 3 different ways, or at least 3 different people, on how to defeat the bosses. And in this case, I'll show you 3 different characters. One is my preferred way of playing, and the preferred way I like to defeat bosses and make my builds, which we will get into later on in the series, and that is the Deprived. But we're not talking about builds, but I'll be talking about it in 3 different ways with 3 different classes that I like playing. One is the Deprived class starting wise, the other is a Mage class starting wise, and the last one being a Knight class starting wise. Now, each one of these classes will have a completely different build. I will teach you all about builds and everything I know about how to make a perfect build, or at least a somewhat good build. But I will not be just describing or telling you how these builds will work. I am just going to be focusing mostly on the boss tactics themselves and everything about the bosses and what you need to know, what you want to do, and you know, how to defeat them. So this is not going to be a, as you will, formal playthrough or just a complete playthrough. This is going to be just a, you know, me telling you and teaching you the tactics I know and what I know about how to beat every boss. And with that being said, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so today's boss, we are focusing on Index Grundy. Now, Index Grundy is one of the first bosses you'll fight, and they're probably one of the only bosses you'll fight alone in Dark Souls 3. But of course, this is my tips to make it easier for you viewers or new players on fighting these bosses alone. Now, this is not a perfect guide. This is in no way the be-all end-all guide. So please just take my tactics with a little grain of salt and realize that I've had many, and a much long practice sessions just to make this video and to come up with tips that should help you. So yeah. Alright, so here we are, Index Grundy. Now, these are the first 2 tips I would recommend as far as when you are starting Index Grundy. So, you know, as you approach Index Grundy, make sure that if you're doing any kind of melee build, you make sure you're out of single sword and you put yourself in 2-hand mode. And then once you pull out the coiled sword, or the sword from Grundy, you'll want to start by getting as many free hits off him as possible. He will always allow you a good amount of free hits, especially when you start. So, yeah, that's something I would recommend you do when you first start this fight. Alright, so once you start this fight, it's just a matter of dodging the spear and his charge during phase 1. This is the first thing you want to do is watch that spear. Don't lock on, because it'll be easier to know when that spear is going to come around. And when he does do that, like, large charge, you'll want to dodge to the left. During the second phase, as you can see, now that we're in the second phase, if you stun him, get 3 hits. But once he gets into the second stage, you just want to dodge and watch out for that jump. If he gets stunned like he did here, then take a few free hits, but always just watch out for the attack with that giant arm. That giant arm in phase 2 is probably the most devastating attack in Grundyr's you know, moveset in the second phase. During the first phase, you'll just want to dodge the spear and watch out for that hail bard coming at you. If he does ever get stunned, you know, just take the free hits and, you know, get him. And yeah, it's just that easy with a Deprived. Now, of course, I'm using the Deprived. I make this look easy, but it is very easy once you know his movesets and you start learning his dodge pattern. Now let me show you this in a mage build, and I'll give you my sorcerer tips for anyone who's playing a sorcerer doing this. Alright, here we are. So, here we are with my sorcerer build. You know, Well, and yeah, I'm gonna give you my sorcerer tips and tips to helping sorcerers or people who want to be a mage beat this first boss. Alright, so here we are with my mage and the first boss. Now this is a somewhat easier fight because you're a higher level, but the tactics still remain the same. When you first pull out the sword, make sure you get 3 hits. After that, it's just a matter of using your magic. Use heavy soul arrow first and stay away from the spear. I mean, at this point, you'll want to play keep away as a mage. And you'll want to use heavy soul arrow at first because it'll make getting to phase 2 much easier. But for the most part, just play keep away, use heavy soul arrow. After you get into phase 2, you'll want to use normal soul arrow and continue to play the keep away game. Once you continue to play the keep away game and you get a chance to soul arrow up Grundir, you should be able to make this fight pretty easy. And those are some of the tips, and those are probably my best tips to making it easier as a sorcerer to defeat Grundir. So yeah, I mean, just soul arrow when you're in phase 2, heavy soul arrow when you're in phase 1. Now, if you get a heavy soul arrow like I just did there, if you get a heavy soul arrow like I did there, then go ahead and take it. Alright, so here we are, final character or style that I'm going to show you, which is the starting knight class. Now, the knight class is probably by far the easiest class for any new player, and only because it's the one class that gives you the most health, while also putting you with the heaviest armor or best damage protection in the game. And with that being said, here are my tips for getting through Index Grundir for new players. Now, you're going to see that for the most part, Index Grundir with my knight build, or my starting class being a knight, is basically the same tactics I use going through with the deprived. It's just the difference with the deprived versus the knight is the fact that you have less health in deprived, whereas you have more health in the in the knight build. So yeah, let's go ahead and go to my tips. Alright, so I just realized I did not actually capture the footage for some reason. I had a little issue with capturing the footage, so let me give you my tips, because of course you've seen the tips already before, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to my deprived class and show the same, so maybe show the same video footage, but the tips are basically the same. If I don't show the same video footage, you're just seeing video footage of me, going through my knight getting to Grundir. But the tips are basically the same when it comes to Grundir on the knight class. All you have to do is basically, when you pull the coiled sword out of Grundir, take the free hits, get as many free hits as you can. Once you do that, you'll see during phase 1, Grundir have a spear, or have that halberd. Watch out for his spear attack, or the slash attack that he does with that halberd. And of course, if he does a charge, then watch out for the charge. And always make sure that after he does one of those charges, you'll have an open chance, or should I say a free hit, that you'll get once or twice. And I mean, that's pretty much it. During phase 2, once he gets into phase 2, you'll want to watch out for that arm. And once you see that arm attack, then you'll want to go ahead and hit him after he does his arm attack. If he jumps you, just make sure that you don't get in the way of where he's landing. And of course, fight locked on. Now, if you're a mage, you'll want to fight locked on because your spells are most effective when you are locked on. But as a melee build, whether it's strength or quality build, or even dexterity build, you'll want to make sure that you're not locked on, just because it will hinder your performance. And that leads me to my mistakes that I want to talk about. Common mistakes that I've seen people make while they are fighting Grundir or any boss is the fact that they lock on. The most common mistake, is the fact that they lock on to the boss and in the enemy. And this is a very, very big common mistake that I see most players do. Alright, so another common error that I see many players do, especially when fighting Grundir or just a boss in general, is besides locking on, they tend to fight one-handed or just with their blade in one hand. And I mean that is an error that I did with when I was doing my that was an error that I did when I was doing my my not starting warrior class or knight class build on this series. And yeah, it's another common error that I see. So if you can limit that common error, it's going to be worthwhile, and you'll see it to be a little bit easier, if not much easier, for you to fight an enemy. I know I'm going to hear some arguments from some players, especially the vets, saying Akurite, but it's so much easier or so much better to fight when I am locked onto an enemy. And yes, that is somewhat true. When you're locked onto an enemy, it is going to be much easier to keep track of the enemy. The problem with locking onto an enemy is the fact that you're going to see your performance hindered. Now, I could go on about this, but this is not the point of the series. And my point, this is not a video talking about the reasons why it's bad to lock on or have your character locked on. Now, mages are of course the exception, because mages can't use their spells by freewheeling it, or by not locking on. So, in that case, mages are the exception to why you should lock on, if at all, to an enemy. Anyway, this has been this has been a short video, but it's the first video of the series talking about how to defeat the bosses, and of course, what you are, and some tips and ways to make it easier for you. And with that being said, let's go ahead and we will move on to the next boss in a future video. I am currently starting to make videos on Fridays during the week. I usually stream on Twitch, which you can check me out live, www.twitch.tv/Akurite, and you can see me do a live show of anything Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elite Dangerous, or whatever I feel like during the course of the week for the first 5 days during the week, Monday through Thursday, and of course on Saturday is when I live stream. Fridays I will be working hard to either try seal deals with other companies, either getting early looks for reviews, and or of course doing YouTube videos, or whatever for YouTube, and improving the stream. So thank you everyone for watching me. If you enjoyed the video, you want to continue to support the channel, please do hit that subscribe button in YouTube. If you want to check me out live, please hit my follow button live on twitch.tv. And yeah, until the next one, this is Akurite signing out.